Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. The current session focuses on the history of Galim. Well, I hope and expect by the end of this session you would be able to understand certain factors about the linguistic history of Galim and how they are important sociolinguistically. At the outset, it is very important for us to understand what is Galim and where is Galim. Well, my dear students, Cameroon, a country the size of Sweden, has approximately 280 languages. These languages belong to three major African language families, and if you look at the screen, you can see the names. That is Niger-Congo, that is Nilo-Saharan, and Afro-Asiatic. So these three families are further divided into subcategories of various languages, and approximately somewhere between 280 to 300 languages coexist in this area. Now, in this country, there is a small village that is named Galim, and this Galim is in the Adamawa Highlands in northern Cameroon. This is a small village in Cameroon. It has approximately 3,000 people living here. So it was founded in the end of the 19th century by the indigenous Nizaa people. All of the other groups here who came to this area later on, they are immigrants. The sedentary Fulani, now you would have to focus on the screen for a while because there are certain names that are very much localized. For example, the sedentary Fulani, the Hausa, and Kanuri, they have generally come as merchants. These are different tribes, these are different, clans of people who have shifted to this area as merchants. The Chamba have also come. This is another kind of clan or, tribe. They have come as shepherds tending the herds of Fulani merchants. So, the kind of social setup is constructed where there are certain people who are the middle class, business class people, and then there are lower class people who are serving as shepherds for these people, the Fulani people. The nomadic Fulani have come as cattle nomads, which they still are to a large extent, and even to the modern times, they are doing the same services. Now there are separate Nizaa, Fulani, Hausa, and Chamba quarters in Galim. They are living in separate areas within, within the village, while the Kanuri live in the Fulani quarters. Now, when it comes to the social and functional classification of the society, languages of Galim can be divided into three main groups. The first group of languages is of Fula, second is Hausa, and the third group contains various languages, Nizaa, Woot, Kanuri, and Chamba. Now, I would just tell you about how these languages, from the sociolinguistic perspective, when we look at them, how it is very interesting to notice how they are coexisting, co-surviving, and, are being used for certain social functions. When it comes to Fula, it is the main lingua franca that is spoken by everybody. So, amongst the clans, amongst the tribes, when there is a kind of inter-tribe or inter-clan or inter-group interaction for that purpose, Fula is used. As far as Hausa is concerned, it has a certain status as a lingua franca, plus Hausa population speaks Hausa and Fula both. Now, people belonging to other ethnic groups in this village of Galim, those who are not from the Fula background, they still use this Fula language as a lingua franca, apart from their own language, the language of their own tribe or of their own clan. So, what is the result? The result is almost everybody speaks more than one languages. People speak two languages or sometimes more than two languages. When it comes to the division of population, the population can be divided into three parts or three different, levels of status when it comes to social status. The first social group is upper social stratum, which is of merchants, as I have already said. They have a higher level of, higher standard of living, and, mostly they intermarry. The marriages take place within, their own people. The third group is of nomadic Fulani. They are cattle herders. They speak Fula, but a slightly different dialect of Fula. The pronunciation is different. Even some vocabulary items vary. As far as their social status is concerned, this is a very low social status. They are the shepherds, they are the low-class workers, and they generally live in compounds in the bush outside the village, at the outskirts, of the village. Now, members from social group 1 only learn languages spoken as the first language of people of their own social group. When it comes to social group 2, they learn languages spoken as the first language of people of their own social group, plus the language of social group 1. So, the higher status, social group 1 would learn only their own language. Social group 2 would learn their own language plus the language of social group 1. But when it comes to social group 3, that is the lowest class, the nomadic Fulani, it is not easy to place them in the social hierarchy. They do not generally intermarry with other ethnic groups. They would stay within their group. Interestingly, in this way, their linguistic, identity remains within the group. They do not marry, for example, in social group 1 or social group 2. I would like to share with you the kind of life these people have. Probably it would be interesting for you to have a look at a pictorial representation of them. So have a look at it. So, in the picture you can see a nomadic Fulani women group. They are at a market in northern Cameroon, and you can see they are selling pots there. So, the lifestyle that they have, in which they, do the kind of social activities they involve, selling different items as well. I hope this brief history of Galim with reference to different languages in relation to different social groups would give you an idea of how and why it is significant in sociolinguistics to study the language of different social groups in relation to their social identities and in relation to social stratifications.